reaction video. Okay. Um, I think the audio should be fixed. The last video I didn't bother posting because the audio was pretty awful. But it should be better now. So we're going to watch Bakugo versus Reze. I have not a lot of strong feelings about this matchup. At the very least, I think it's pretty decent for Bakugo. The only other matchup I think I preferred for Bakugo was Blue Pokemon. That was a bit of a storm. They say I'm not very big on Chainsaw Man, to be honest. I'm not really sure if I even like it, so to say. I mean, put on these lines. Um, I've seen Grizzly versus Terra. That seems like a pretty good matchup. Um, I think we all know how this battle is going to go. So we shouldn't really beat around the bush anymore. I'm also excited for the next time, but let's jump right into things first. Let's watch Bakugo versus Racing. Oh yeah, one more thing. This isn't live. In fact, it's pretty late. It's like 2:10. Um, the battle should have come out like an hour ago. I'm busy studying exams. You know how it is.
Well, well, look who's here.
I can't afford that. Just gotta make sure we're in mass quality.
Bakugo versus Reze, the god of explosions versus the bomb devil. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yep, that's sure. That's
Wiz,
I
there's
honestly
nothing like
don't
the
even feel like
smell of
watching the
napalm in the
analysis.
morning, the rush
To
of the
be honest,
shockwave, the
I
flash
just
of
will.
combustion. I love it
Konosuba,
when
what?
stuff goes boom. And no one knows that feeling better
Okay,
than Katsuki
going
Bakugo.
back to
When your
good
name
stuff.
literally means powerful bomb, it's
Let's
no
get this
wonder he
over with.
was born with the quirk Explosion. It lets Bakugo create humongous kabooms from his palms. I can only dream of having hands that rad. Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born with. Bakugo
Mhm.
inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible acid sweat and his mother's glycerin skin secretions, making Bakugo
Mhm.
sweat basically like nitroglycerin. And the more he sweats, yeah, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy. Bakugo felt similarly,
See,
so much so that he started
I
bullying
don't have
his
a lot of
childhood friend who happened to be born
insightful
without a
commentary to
quirk.
add.
Okay,
You've kind of
Skyver's not
seen
no
this all
turd
before. It's
sometimes,
Bakugo.
but come
It's
on,
Bakugo. I
Wiz,
love
the
anything.
kabooms! They're so cool. Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training. Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton
Like
of
season
focus and
two,
on-the-fly
season two has
calculations. And
such
despite
bangers.
getting this incredibly
And
dangerous quirk when he
this is
was
a area
4,
lot.
he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo was truly a prodigy.
That that part probably isn't true. I'm pretty sure he like brutalized some people in one of the movies. I think it was the second movie. I don't remember if it was him or Endeavor that just absolutely evaporated some guys, but I'm pretty sure Bakugo killed some people in the movie. Pretty sure. So we're gonna have to dock 1 point from you, Deathmaster, actually.
Destined for greatness. And his
Somewhat even.
only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal
There's
idol,
the goal.
All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character. Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo
Oh.
bullied. In truth, he was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless. Really? That crybaby's
I
the
should
main
show you guys
character?
my
Well,
MEK shirt,
Bakugo's
but I don't even
inferiority
feel like
complex would
bringing it
only
down.
get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA High. There, he would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves. Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo speed, blinding people with stun grenade, focusing his blasts into armor-piercing shots, or making a big-ass tornado of death. The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen, and then igniting it all for one hell of a boom.
He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
UA High also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat. Gross.
He looks like such a dork, man. I don't, man, Bakugo, you wouldn't think this character has so much nuance and stuff because he looks like such a dork. Like initially, eh, look at look at this guy, man. I don't know. It's something that I really like about the way that Horikoshi presented him. It's like um, this is a pretty intelligent, surprisingly very capable character that just happens to look and talk like a brute, a dumbass. It's like this is one of the top students in the class as well. It's really nice.
Allow him to store up his sweat, gross, for prolonged bouts, or to release all of it at once in a single massive blast.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, these badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat as ammo. With all of that, it wasn't long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed to live up to his own sky-high expectations. He had the makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
So he vented his frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized something crucial. That the kind of absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice
Uh-oh.
wall,
Cow
fast enough
time.
to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch
Cow
lightning,
time.
and tough enough to
Light.
survive, well,
being dead? Yep, you heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main character plot
Yep.
armor, I don't know what is.
his stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart UA High itself. Judging by the school's size, we can
Okay.
estimate
Okay.
Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster yielded over 300 kilotons of TNT.
300 kilotons. Town level. Starting off with like a town level field. So that's pretty interesting. Uh, okay, no. I think I'll save my commentary for
Given Bakugo's
after
whole deal
after
is
Bakugo's
explosions,
analysis
it
is
makes sense
completely
to
done.
science
I
out
kind
what
of
a
liked it.
ton
So.
of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of
What? Why are we
trinitrotoluene.
doing this?
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for kabooms. Now, imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster.
And these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
And that's not
These
all.
are some
Now
low
he can
speeds.
detonate his
I'm
sweat
glad to see
remotely
the other
and
MHA
from all
speeds,
over his
to be
body,
honest.
not just
These are
his
some
palms.
lower
With
speeds.
all of this crazy bullshit, Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth.
I'd put like a what's the like a star on this, you know? I feel like a kinda on that.
Enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right. The
Remember this
main
movie?
villain,
That was
who's the protagonist now, Deku.
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! Dynamite! Dynamite!
banger. Yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to that, but that was a banger. Yeah, I really the way that I think because Bakugo doesn't really have as many abilities or like crazy stuff to discuss, they managed to find a lot more time to fit in some more story and stuff, which I feel like that's pretty nice, and it makes me really excited for Reze because I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing because what she had like explosions and region, that's about it really. So I'm assuming that's also going to be more story based, and it makes me kind of wish that um although like they're maybe kind of boring on the analyzation side, that we had a bit more characters with less abilities. That's what I think. But yeah, 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 that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. I do. Yeah. They also pretty much got everything correct as well. So I've been on the Bakugo blog before. Um, way back in the day, Bakugo versus Eustace the Kid. Um, I think that was when I was like 15, 16. I don't remember. Um, but Bakugo Eustace from One Piece was there. I did a bit of the research for Bakugo, so I do know some of his abilities offhand. I'm pretty sure the person got pretty much everything right, so that's good on them. But yeah, I really like the analysis. I think that was better than Cell's at least. I think that was better than Ichigo's. I think that was. I think I would even prefer that to freaking Metal Sonics actually, and I really liked Metal Sonics honestly. Um, Only use case surpasses it so far, and that's like barely because yeah. We'll move. We'll
Wiz,
move.
what happened to
Commercial
you?
time.
You look funny and squishy.
I'm over here, Boomstick. That's the new Death Metal plushie from U2's, and it's available to order right.
Oh, like the one they made of me a year ago. You got jealous, didn't you?
What? No, mine's way cuter. Look at it, and you can get one by clicking the link.
Ah, they forgot to color one of your arms.
Boomstick, I have a metal arm. I always have. Oh, and if you order it, there's a chance you might get a special version with a gold arm.
That's actually kind of awesome.
You definitely want one.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I do, okay? Shut up about it.
Click the link below to order one for yourself. It's only available for a limited time, and after that, it will never be available.
Fun, fun. Moving on.
Death, war, famine,
War,
conquest.
farming,
Humanity has
conquest.
been plagued by all
Hell
manner
yeah.
of ills since they first
Who
crawled
named
out
the
of the
viewers?
primordial ooze. In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear
These those
but fear
retention words.
itself.
Come on.
Because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, a chicken. But what about the
Okay.
bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's
Let's
current
do that
host,
back.
Reze,
This is the
if that
master.
even is
We're
her
gonna be
real
good.
name.
She might look cute and kawaii, but she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet. Basically a Black Widow. A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed
Of
up
course,
as
it was
this.
But all
Fujimoto's
Reze
favorite
wanted was
character
a
at some
safe,
point.
normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's country mouse.
Too bad! You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was
That's the only
implanted
thing
with
they
a
can get
fragment of
away
the
with
bomb
without
devil
to
and
get skin
became a
copyright.
hybrid. A human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's. And with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close. Also, Wiz, Check out the bomb for a head!
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should devils like
Yum.
Reze take any damage whatsoever, they can
You can
heal by
regen with
consuming
blood.
blood.
Hooray.
And that lets hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just
Yeah, the season one was a
fun
pretty
and
nice
goodness
viewing
Especially
experience.
useful
Sort of
considering the Bomb
considering.
Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze can emit explosions from any surface of her
Yep.
body,
Yeah,
even
that's
tearing
about
off limbs and
it.
turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn, that's hardcore! She can use these blasts to jet through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities. Making herself stronger, the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn her own body into different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance their power.
Like transforming her leg into a torpedo, or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see,
Yeah.
you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes
I think with that in mind, we never did find out what the Chainsaw Devil really is. I know he's like, well, he's more of like a Chainsaw Man Devil. He's got the chainsaws, and he sure does. But like, I kind of wish we knew why the character whose gimmick is chainsaws has the ability to erase things from existence. It just, yeah. I feel like that would have been pretty nice to explain or something.
the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for anyone, to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a
Yeah,
hostile
this is what I
world,
was talking
Denji
about.
wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift to teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than
You see
400
that?
meters in diameter. That's
I see
over
that
4
now.
football fields long.
To have a blast that size, you'd need to be exploding with over 2 kilotons of TNT.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. And that feels super duper inflated though, to be honest with you. The other calcs I've seen for this feat always end up in like city block, city block, city block. This one jumped all the way to town level, which is very surprising. Um I know the entire point is to make, okay, I guess we'll get more into that in the video, but like this calc, this is super inflated. I do not think those explosions should get that high, to be honest with you.
More than comparable to nuclear weapons, which is really impressive considering Reze is not the devil of nuclear bombs. That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel
Gun
across
Devil.
the world and
We
kill
love this guy.
millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed
Okay,
of
so
sound.
okay, so in their opinion, so they're going to present Reze as faster, but then they're going to be like, oh wait, but we can't forget that Shigaraki also did. I mean, I'm pretty sure Bakugo got the slower speed feat, right?
And still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second. Almost 400.
Yeah, yeah. So like 500. Mac 5 one whatever, Mac 500 whatever to Mac 384. So they're going to present
So
Reze
they're
as
just
faster
that
already,
strong.
which is,
Likely comparable to other
I
powerful
hope not.
devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her height.
Quickly have to pause.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life, just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never
Okay,
realized.
yeah, my
She
command,
simply
bro.
changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
The Bomb Devil. Wiki. That was good. Yeah, I wouldn't say I preferred it to Bakugo's, but that was pretty good. Not really a lot you can do for Lizzie. Her story isn't the longest. So yeah, you can't really expect Death Battle to like stretch it out. Um, then again, you can kind of say the same. I mean, Bakugo's story is pretty long. It's second main character, but yeah, you know what I mean. They both don't really have a lot of powers, so to say. So it's like um story is going to be carrying most of the analysis, which makes the analysis in turn more entertaining, in my opinion at least. So I think one thing this matchup has is just this really nice symmetry, above all things. All right, I'm not going to waste too much time. I think we can just lock in our predictions pretty early. Bakugo wins, like pretty easily. Um, Now again, I've been on few. In fact, I've been on a Chainsaw Man blog actually. I was on Power versus Nezuko a few years back as well. Um, Nezuko won that, by the way. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Bakugo kind of just stomps because it's like a mid tier, not even like mid tier, like a lower mid tier in Chainsaw Man versus like the person directly like 2 tiers under Izuku Midoriya himself. It's like yeah, you can't really compare those two, unfortunately. I'm not really sure if I'm going to agree with where Death Battle puts their verdicts. If my theory is correct about them putting giving Reze speed. Um, but yeah, yeah, we predict Bakugo.
The battle's about to start, and I hope you've got something good to hear these kabooms with, like our sponsor, Rocket Powered Dune Buggy.
Understand?
By Raycon.
Thanks for
By Raycon. Earbud. We've run the data through all.
It's time, but oh, I forgot to. They need to stay the line.
Death Battle.
Combatants are
Really?
set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Wait. Why is they didn't fit any Fortnite into the
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for
Oh,
a
that's
death
really disappointing, man. Could have had him hitting the
battle!
video or something. That's really disappointing. Alright. Let's see what you got for me. Already fighting.
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
He seems really happy about that.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
Okay.
How would I tell them that if I was already dead? Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
This is going to be a bad guy, I can tell, man. Oh, I don't go. That's a direct reference. That's really nice.
Oh, damn! Oh, damn!
Being dominated and hand to hand. That's nice. Never that deep, man. Oh, yeah, because it's raining. Actually,
Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
Boom.
no, no, that's it. Well, okay, why would he do that though? That's an okay, no, no, no. That was a really nice scene. Um, why would he just push off the innocent citizen like that? That seems pretty uncharacteristic.
Get
Young
them out of this!
Bakugo, you're getting your ass kicked here.
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
Uh-oh.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
Uh-oh. Oh, he's enjoying himself.
Victory! Howitzer!
What's a funny little guy?
Cluster!
Explosions can be beautiful too.
Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
Oh, yeah, banger. Um, wow, I do not have a lot to say about that episode, unfortunately. I keep on using like filler words. This is pretty unusual, but for me, but yeah, like that. That was a good episode. That was a good animation. Kind of went how you'd expect. I really like how Reze dominated in the more hand-to-hand sequences. I liked Bakugo usually overpowering her. Like whenever they would like clash, you notice that Bakugo never really had much of a problem. Reze kind of had to maneuver around him more often. But then when Bakugo locks in, starts using the Sparky Sparks, um, then Reze is just completely bewildered and stuff. So they got the power scaling aspect of of the fight pretty right. Looks stunning. Love the references within the fight. I love that they found a way to include Reze's OG form as well. Um, I kind of wish I kind of wish Bakugo didn't just push off that innocent king and somehow didn't notice himself being bitten or something. Um, no, but that was a good fight. Decent fight, in fact. I think combined with the two really good analysis, it makes for a very decent episode.
Yo! Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom!
This is not a decent episode, actually.
Boom!
Please just shut up. On the
Thank you.
surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into 3 categories: their
Three
speed, their
categories.
stamina, and their firepower.
First up,
Reze was
let's talk
faster, guys.
speed.
Reze was
Both
faster.
Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle
Okay,
of
no,
fights.
they're probably
To a
going to give it to
casual
Bakugo,
observer, at
actually.
least, they seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Reze has
Yeah,
battled Chainsaw
he
Man,
likes
who
to.
could match and defeat someone using the gun Gun Devil's power.
The same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react
Yeah.
fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's over 1,000 times faster. And that was before Bakugo's quirk awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance
Okay,
Reze
I'll
would
take the
ever
L for
withdraw
that.
on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed doesn't matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability
They
is
give that to
mind-boggling.
Reze. That
He
makes
survived
sense.
being
That
impaled
makes
to
a
the
lot of
torso
sense
and
actually.
has even brought
I
himself
commend
back
the
to life.
writing.
But, unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit. Every explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more, and uses up more and more of his sweat. Without a break, he can eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite, and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Furthermore, her devil hybrid physiology gives her an actual regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However,
Valid.
it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their two biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear-like bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the
If you were
difference
paying
is obvious.
attention,
Based on
yeah.
calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Coughing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
That's
Greater
more
than
than
Bakugo,
Bakugo.
right?
That's
But
heavy.
that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT. 5
Sea
times more
level.
powerful
Wow.
than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
One thing that I can commend so much about this episode is that they keep on using Bakugo base feats. I know they use the Shigaraki light catching feat, but yeah, you can see. I really like the variety here. I know it kind of makes the matchup look unnecessarily close, which might piss off a few of the more diehard power scalers. But I think this is far better if you ask me. And maybe because I'm not speaking very often that my words are falling apart like this. Because I sound like I'm translating every word right now. I'm a native English speaker on everything. Yeah, I think it's probably just my lack of conversation that's doing me in right now. Anyways, yeah, this is
And this was
a very
Bakugo
nice
before
end
reaching his
analysis
full
as well.
power in his fight against All for One. Bakugo takes the final edge in explosions.
And remember, Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
I
And
think we
enemy
need
healing
the
factors
black box,
can be
but I'm
overtaxed
sure
with
that's
enough
fine.
damage. Hell, she needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal consistently, or perhaps at all.
And what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
The winner is Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell, hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Next time.
Ooh, that next time is really scary. Okay, we'll get to that soon. Um, Review first. Bakuro's analysis really good. I love this a lot. Lizzie's analysis nice. I didn't love it as much, but it was also really good. The fight looked visually stunning. Loved the choreography and stuff. I loved how they presented the power scaling within the the fight. The only issue that I have is like it just kind of felt like it didn't get into that next level. It felt like a peg below. When I was watching Metasonic versus Cell, it was like super hype. It was super awesome. It was so much spectacle. You can't really expect that much from a fight between these two guys, and I think that's fine. But you kind of want a bit more out of it. It's not to say that the fight itself was lame in any way. And they did the best they could, the absolute best they could with the characters they were given. I think it's more so the fault of the matchup itself. It's kind of like Bardock versus Omni-Man, in which they did the best with the powers that those two had, but those two don't have many powers. So I think it was more so the fault of these two just not having that much to work with, that it just felt pretty underwhelming compared to like this new standard death battle fight. If you put that fight in the smack in the center of season 7, it still tops the rankings easily. It's top season 6. Possibly tops basically every other season except for 10, possibly. But it was a good fight. And the end analysis was all really good. I was expecting it to go in a completely different route, but it definitely surprised me, definitely shocked me. And I thought it was presented pretty well. I doubt there's even any holes for like a casual fan to poke there like they could for, say, Metal versus So I think it was an overall pretty good episode. And I don't know why. The next time is really scaring me. I have no idea what it will be. Let's find out now. Final prediction for the next time. Traveler versus Aang. Let's do this.
On Death Battle.
That's not Traveler. It's Guru Mecha Mind.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. And don't forget to order your very own Wiz Plush from YouTube's. Click that link below the like button.
Well, Guru versus Mega Mind. Guru, hard rating Guru. Guru is my goat. I love the Despicable Me movies. I've watched Mega Mind. I've watched a bit of the Mega Mind series. Uh, that is all I have to do with Mega Mind. I'm not really sure how to feel about it completely. It's not to say that it's not a fantastic matchup and it won't be a fantastic fight. I just don't have any strong feelings with Mega Mind. That said, I do have very strong attachments to Gru. I want Gru to win, and I'm sure Gru will win. Betting right now, Gru will win. So at least I have that to look forward to in 4 weeks. Listen, man, it's tiring. You know, this entire school thing is pretty tiring. I'm pretty tired. Studying is getting to me. You know, I've had to like pull away from basically every hobby that I have, and pretty much just hone in on studying, studying, studying. And I guess that's why they sent me to school, to study to get the good grades. But it's pretty overwhelming at times. So it's nice to have a death battle, um, right before I get back into the grind. It's kind of unfortunate that I don't have a death battle in the middle of my exams. But this one right at the start, sure. With that said, we're going to wrap up for today. Bakugo vs. Reze was pretty decent, pretty nice, and this is Super Monkey signing out. Goodbye for now.